Colton Swan on the score sheet. A lot of attacks so far for this front line, but the 9 has yet to hit the back of the net.
Notre Dame in green this evening, Indiana in white. Indiana had a couple of high-profile injuries in that opening draw against Clemson back in August. Got Mayer back on Wednesday night against St. Louis, a 1-0 win. Still missing Charlie Hoyer, who's day-to-day. They hope to have him back soon. Oduro to the byline. Oduro in a crowd and loses out. Collins Oduro had the lone goal for the Hoosiers on Wednesday night against St. Louis, a ranked matchup. Came just 7 minutes in. Though Indiana did survive a flurry of Billiken's chances in the second half. Nice touch by KK before. Here's Borso. Borso couldn't get his foot all the way around it.
Solid first touch here, though, from KK before on the little cutback in. You know, they've become much more flexible within their overall shape moving forward. Quite narrow on the width. Spicer will reciprocate on the right-hand side, but as he goes, I like this diagonal run coming off the front line from Wyatt Borso. Spent about 18 months injured, so getting him up to speed, understanding the tendencies of his teammates around him, allowing him to continue to attack the top of the 18, very important for this Notre Dame squad.
This hit by Minzy just skewed off his left foot, but Holden Brown able to track it down. Kinsella before harassing him, and Indiana throw. Chad Riley, the 8th-year head coach of the Irish, 2-time ACC champion, the only Notre Dame coach ever to take the Irish to 2 college cups in his tenure. Before, sends it toward the debuting Burton. Indiana get it clear.
A couple of players remaining from that group who nearly reached the promised land, if not for the familiar ACC foe of the Clemson Tigers and Mike Noonan. KK before was a part of that. Wyatt Lewis, Mitch Ferguson. I mentioned the leadership and discipline that's required within this group. Those two carry a ton of responsibility within it, but also trying to instill those core values, Nate, that Chad Riley is looking to pass on to every single group. He had such a heavy turnover year to year that the group that you see right now doesn't carry the same sort of experience from the 2 teams that reached the Men's College Cup over a 4-year span.
Borso flicks it on toward before, but taken by Shaw. He loses out, and Indiana come the other way with Jacopo Fedrizzi. Mentioned the turnover for Notre Dame. Of course, lost ACC Offensive Player of the Year Matthew Rue. He had 14 of Notre Dame's 36 goals last season, piled up 35 in his Irish career. Bryce Bonneau in the midfield, 3rd-team All-ACC. Had to replace bodies at the back as well. Josh Ramsey, center back. Fullback Kyle Gennebacher. Jacob Bartlett as well. Just the 1 season here, and he's been making waves for Sporting Kansas City, getting a lot of action in MLS.
Probably one of the players that if you're Chad Riley going through the process, he knew before most, but still an expectation that the return would be there for Bartlett within the midfield. So trying to work through a couple of ideas of, you know, okay, what do I have in the spring? Who's going to be here? Who's taking off to the professional ranks? Am I going to bring in any transfers? Anybody staying on as a grad student? Within all of it, still being able to replicate what is the traditional style, those flat 4-4-2 lines you'll see defensively, keeping tight-knit units. More so they're interested in what looks like on the opposite end of the field right now, trying to produce some goals, which have not really come that frequently, just 2 in their opening 3 matches. Only 1 goal given up, though. A staple defensive stronghold of these Fighting Irish teams.
Oduro in a bit of space again. Left-hand side centric attack for the Hoosiers in the first half dozen minutes. Nolan Kinsella. Indiana give it away, but get it right back. We haven't gotten to see quite as much of Notre Dame so far this year as Indiana. The Irish have played only 3 games. In fact, it's been 10 days since they were last on the field. 1-0 win over Oregon State 2 Thursdays ago here in South Bend. Before running onto it, Minzy got there first. It's off before and out. Todd Yeagley in his 16th season now at Indiana. National champion in 2012. He's got a team that has started with 5 unbeaten, including 4 straight wins, though this is their first game away from Bloomington.
The last team to start 4-0-1, not 5 games unbeaten, but 4 wins in that same window. That was the 2017 team that ended up in the national title game against Stanford.
Clearing header by Sebastian Green, didn't get all of it. Kinsella comes onto it. His shot is blocked. Before wins the battle with Kinsella. Burton got a touch. Burton goes to ground, and Burton gets the whistle. First involvement from our referee, Dimitar Shavdarov.
Love the late step here from Nolan Kinsella. High from both outside backs. Sparger on the left, and as he rotates up into this screen, it actually pinned himself deep. Good recognition that the ability to even get there was available to him. And what you will get a lot out of this Hoosiers team is secondary runs, third levels, where it's not just the initial threat of a Colton Swan or a Pomerol. Jacopo Fedrizzi likes to create those underlaps underneath the front 2. They will release both midfielders. Collins Oduro, comfortable on both widths, have become a lot more frequent within those inverted runs.
Borso up for it. It falls for Burton. His shot is blocked. Borso follows up and sends it high.
If, there's a big if, we'll get to that in a minute, the Irish are able to get out of here with a win tonight, it is going to be about winning these second and third balls, the physical side of play to pick up some of these passages that won't always end up with the ball at the ground level. Ability to do battle and damage with their feet, instead forcing you into uncomfortable situations. It's probably one area on the defensive front they've been a little bit shaky. Todd Yeagley going through a ton of different combinations, though he's finding familiarity with Mayer, Minzy, and Kinsella. Saw the transfer from Virginia, Victor Akum, who has been in and out as well.
Why are those second and third balls more important for Notre Dame than they are for Indiana tonight?
Because of the separation within the different ranks. Ball comes up over the top. If you go to win the first one, usually that's a unique situation for an individual, Nate, where I'm going to win this ball, which means I'm vacating a position. You win the second one, that player's out of position. How quickly can you step into what was left behind? Also, is there a different player that's then going to cut in? Do you want to create combination play? If the ball's at your feet, you allow your opponent a lot more composed. Organization then follows. Communication a lot easier. So when the ball goes up, you win the first one, you win the second one, becomes a little bit more scattered. But if you force it like Notre Dame is capable of, that's where you can find success.
Oduro creates a little space for Jack Wagoner. Hasn't been a lot of joy through the middle so far for Indiana. Kinsella swings it in. Kelly there. We've seen maybe 2 or 3 touches for Palmer Alt in that 10 role for the Hoosiers. Three green shirts and just 1 white in there for that one. Over the top toward Borso. And handball against Luke Burton, the debuting freshman. Mentioned Notre Dame coming off that win over Oregon State a couple of Thursdays ago here at Alumni Stadium. It's a common opponent for these two teams, even this early in the year. Indiana opened the season with a draw against Clemson, followed by wins against San Francisco, Green Bay, and the aforementioned pairing of Oregon State and St. Louis.
I mean, law of averages tells us there's a draw in the books. You said it, not me.
There have been plenty of draws between these two teams in recent years, that's for sure. Including 2-2 last season.
Well, certainly Chad Riley would prefer a victory here tonight. I promise you, the potency of what the Hoosiers have been bringing on the attacking side of the ball. You tell him he got out of here unscathed. I don't really think he'd be overly concerned with that statement.
Kelly gets it away. Potency was the right word for it last year. Chaotic second half. Indiana scored twice in 35 seconds to go from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. But Notre Dame answered just a minute and a half later with the equalizer. August of last season in Bloomington. Think they're having any fun tonight?
The hat's solid. Think they got one at the gift shop?
You gonna go check it out after the game?
I'll leave right now if that's okay. I don't know how you feel about the dead air while I'm gone. Some people pay good money for that. I'm not overly surprised the opening 15 minutes that the Irish have done most of the chasing. Little surprise right here that we haven't seen a bit more pressure. You know, the idea that you're going to force them into those uncomfortable situations like I mentioned. The problem is this, is that if you go, you have to be really careful of that direct ball back over the top. Indiana very good at playing through their secondary options, bypassing the midfield, allowing, you know, an Oduro and a Federici to drop into that space, and then they're off and running. But you have to take chances, and the Hoosiers will give you an opportunity to break them down. They've become much more calculated over the past couple of matches. They don't give up as many opportunities, and if you watch decision-making overall, cleaner on the ball. They set themselves up quite nicely to find interplay with each other.
Before fouled by Minzy, Notre Dame free kick on the Indiana side of the halfway line. With that in mind, Notre Dame doing a little more of the chasing, needing to maybe apply a little bit of the pressure in that press. Do you expect to see Chad Riley have to reach a little deeper into his bench than Todd Yeagley does with his Irish chasing the game a bit?
No. Yeagley will go to the bench on his own. You know, he's been very clear about the fact that this is one of, if not the deepest team he's had. At least probably since that 17 or 18 team, both of which were unreal in terms of what they produced at the collegiate level, making runs to the College Cup, as well as the players that went into the professional ranks.
Before, Indiana with an opportunity to break away, but knocked out of bounds by Shaw. Maybe a little disappointing for Notre Dame given the success they've had off those KK before free kicks early on this season. Before had the free kick assist on the lone Irish goal in that 1-0 win over Oregon State in their last action. Mitch Ferguson finished it off in the 39th minute. Alt's in a little bit of space. Aduro arriving. Notre Dame want handball, don't get it. Cleared only as far as Cristiano Berletti. Melvin Spicer able to hold on to the ball nicely for the Irish. Give it away. Pedrizzi sent it wide.
As much as we look at Notre Dame and their ability to recapture, this actually starts from a lack of understanding from the young freshman up top, Luke Burton. He's got to converge on the space. If he drops in initially, Hoosiers aren't allowed to even get any pressure at all, and instead you eliminate the threat, you can start to build. Worst case scenario, you hit the reset button, Nate, and you push your defensive line back out. That comes with time. Again, a freshman, never stepped on the field of play. Forget about what's right next to you. How about the 10 behind you, right? Trying to figure out defensively where you fit in. And oh, by the way, the responsibility of trying to produce goals. All of this takes time. You and I had the opportunity to step onto the field pregame with Chad Riley and said, you feel like, Chad, that this is just about reps with each other and the group is starting to find identity? He said, yeah, that kind of feels like where we're at. Certainly defensively they're coming around. Just need to have a little bit more belief on what we're trying to do on the attacking end of the football.
Here's before. Good run by Shaw. Turns it in front toward Burton. Mayer got enough. Burton couldn't corral it. Mayer shields it. Burton got the ball. Shaw toward Borso. Green after it for Notre Dame. Before.
Great defending. That's really well done by Berletti, popping out of the midfield. You get yourself into a one-on-one with KK before. It can be very scary due to the willingness of him to change slides, directions quite rapidly. We just talked about taking chances. Twice, Luke Burton. Just prior, Ian Shaw stepping out of the midfield, getting away from your comfort zone, willing to drag Hoosiers with you. That's what it's going to take for them to grab the opener.
In-swinger. Step in, Josh.
First corner for either team. Mitch Ferguson takes, and it's sent clear. Colton Swan got the right foot to it. Before. Minzy the header. Chipped in too far, and Brown claims. Holden Brown, the second-year goalkeeper. Spent 4 prior seasons at Virginia. Didn't get to start the opener. That went to Jude Wellen Michel, the freshman from Montreal. But Brown got his chance in the second game, and he has not relinquished his spot. Back-to-back clean sheets in the wins over Oregon State and St. Louis.
I never thought the day would come that we'd be talking about a goalkeeping battle at Indiana, considering the success they've had over what seems like an eternity. JT Harms recently departed, Roman Salentano before him, Trey Muse. 3 incredible goalkeepers in their own right. And I mentioned transactional when we came on to air, right? Going into the transfer market, trying to find these little pieces that can take you to the next level. Certainly Holden Brown is going to be at the top of that conversation. George Gelnevach, the great coach at Virginia, allowing a player to leave, and someone who's really seen success at every single level. Academy, split between Indy 11 and the Indiana Fire. Really takes command, has become a lot more explosive in nature as career has gone on, and much more commanding within the box.
Burton wins the free kick on a foul by Mayer. 20 minutes gone. You wonder if Notre Dame can produce something a little bit more dangerous from one of these free kicks. They're starting to accumulate.
But to be fair, both goals have come from that angle. Notre Dame so far, the Irish, again, have struggled in overall build-up play. Final 35, 40 yards, so both goals, secondary opportunities or not, did start from dead ball situations.
Before looking for Burton, but Swan there. Kelly goes direct. Menzie the header. Before shields off Aduro. Comes up hobbling.
Got to have more movement right now at a Federici on this right-hand side. Into the flat lines cause two things. Number one, predictable marking, which does make it difficult for the outside wingers. But as you start to stray from that, there is space. You get about 7 to 10 yard gaps in between the two different lines. Federici releases himself. That forces pressure by Sebastian Green to start to pop out and make a decision, especially as Kinsella comes high. Now you force the defender in a really awkward position. But it all comes from that initial step from Federici. If he goes and Kinsella comes high, now you can start to bait the team. And that's different angles and games that you can play around the field right now. Not enough aggression from the Hoosiers.
For the record, you're putting a lot of pressure on me with this Federici pronunciation that you've got down.
You know, just hold it up like you're eating some pizza, right? Just Federici. We'll get you Babel in the offseason.
You're turning up the heat on me. These are our next women's volleyball matches right here on the ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Both part of the showdown at the Net tournament. North Carolina hosts number 12 Florida at Carmichael Arena in Chapel Hill. Tuesday night, 7 Eastern. Wednesday night at 6 Eastern. NC State squares off against South Carolina in Raleigh. Should be two great nights of volleyball. Indiana switching the play, looking for Kinsella, who just couldn't bring it in. Bruletti dropping a little bit, creating some space for Kinsella down this right-hand side. Alt comes out wide, working on Green. More creative build-up from Indiana. Comes for nothing, but able to use this right-hand side better than they have in the opening 25 minutes. Mayer pings one for Kinsella. This time it's down cleanly, but the second touch let him down. Before has it taken off him, but clattered right to Ochoa. Burton pursuing on Mayer, who puts it out, or rather couldn't get all of it, and Notre Dame able to keep it in play. Sebastian Green. Right to Berletti. Berletti finds a little space. Better from the Indiana buildup for you these last few minutes?
Still a little bit unbalanced. One of the reasons is that young man right there in a Notre Dame jersey, 6, Wyatt Lewis, has done really well to stay at home, has kept Collins Oduro in front of him. So what that's forced Indiana to do is try to explore the other side. Just got a nice buildup in that release that I was talking about. Now you have to evolve, become a little bit more multifaceted, utilize your midfielders. Let's see more aggression out of Wagner and Bruletti. A little bit too flat for me. As they start to pinch out like this, you force the strikers to come out from Notre Dame. That allows more comfort on the back line. You can go direct, start to play through the middle. Again, it's just a little bit too predictable, but this is also some of the feeling out process for a system that Indiana haven't seen yet this season.
Green goes to ground, so too does Kinsella. Green wins it.
Nate, it doesn't matter how much prep you go through prior. Once you get into it, you really don't truly understand what the opponent is going to be like. That doesn't matter if they're sitting in a 3-back, if they play with high wing backs, if they want to sit flat like Notre Dame is. You have to feel the energy of the game and exactly what an opponent is giving to you. All the more so reason that it, to me, is even more impressive that Notre Dame haven't really bitten in certain areas. They've stayed really well structured, kept the game in front of them, yes, and involves a lot of chasing. But we're 28 minutes into this match, and you can't look back and go, that was a good chance for what most people consider right now one of the best teams in the country, myself included. It is also the brilliance of Indiana just to continue to try and poke and prod to find their way through.
Oduro. Chips it back post. Good ball for Swan, who just couldn't turn it on frame.
Just talking about the predictability aspect right now. You start to work back to the left-hand side, and guess who's not there? Wyatt Lewis. He has to drop off because of the overlap by Barger. The left back comes high. That allows Collins Oduro to start to invert his run. Great vision here. Unselfish. 2 runners on the back post. And that intensity that we're talking about, the opportunity that has to come for Colton Swan. That's just about belief in the moment. A bit fearful as it comes through with traffic in front of him. 6'2" frame. Be imposing in that moment. Lean right through it and stick it into the bottom of the net. Certainly the best look that we've seen so far from the visitors.
Brought those Indiana fans to life as well. Couple of substitutions for Notre Dame. Jack Flanagan is on, along with Stevie Dunphy up front. Wyatt Borso and Luke Burton, the striker pairing for the Irish, make way. Indiana bring on Easton Bogard and Ben Doe. Nola Kinsella, the right back, is off, and the right winger, Jacopo Fedrizzi, to the bench as well. Dunphy after it straight away, as was Flanagan, but Flanagan whistled for the foul. Flanagan didn't appear at all as a freshman and started nearly every game last season, had 4 goals, including scoring the opener of that 2-2 draw last August between these two teams in Bloomington. Flanagan wanted a foul On the push into his back, the referee waited to see if an advantage would develop for Stevie Dunphy and calls it back for the foul.
And now we get to take a look at that depth that we referenced a few times for the Hoosiers. With the change by Todd Yeagley, it's not just the 3 fresh faces that come on, but now Collins Oduro comes to the right flank. Now you're going to see him push a little bit more down into the perimeter of the field, utilize the speed to his advantage for service, cutting back in. Easton Bogard, ton of engine up top, a relentless work rate, a little bit better with his back to goal, and then Nessie, who will look to combine with Palmer Alt, all of which has been absent from the game so far.
You mentioned that third change. Michael Nessie on for Colton Swan up front as well. A goal scorer in the reverse fixture last season. And IU's joint leading returning goal scorer. He had 4 a year ago, including 3 of them against major opponents, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Kentucky.
I referenced to you the overall decision making of Indiana being much better over the past couple of matches. Within that, there's much better familiarity of what the next step is going to be by these attacking players.
Green stands it up. Flanagan slipped and fell, couldn't get anything on it. And Bruletti the other way for Indiana. Asking a lot of Oduro, who couldn't get there.
Much like the idea of Palmer Alt coming on there, how versatile he is, right? I said he likes to combine. He's got great vision. Nessie comfortable on the right or the left. We see that now from Collins Oduro. The idea that you can play with or through Easton Bogard up top. This is the depth that Todd Yeagley continues to reference because it's not linear, the thought process. We're not going to go to the left midfielder and then step up top into the 9. Instead, the ideas become a lot more free-flowing. That's pretty scary, considering this team is unbeaten through 5 matches. It's really become defensively stout over the last 2. It's trust and understanding within the system, but also the willingness to continue to push the threshold of what's in front of you.
Palmer Alt over to take the throw. Short for Bruletti. Right back for Alt. Couldn't get rid of it before the oncoming Stevie Dunphy arrived. And Dunphy takes it off Alt a second time. Goes down with the bump from Minzy and gets the foul.
There's the warning, too, for Brecken Minzy from our referee in from behind. No real movement on the ball whatsoever, and he said that's twice, no more. Most situations there. Referee's not going to be as courteous. Certainly been on the receiving end of a few of those. Here's your yellow. Off and running. Don't come back.
More substitutions coming before this throw-in from Bendo. Brady Hilden on for Notre Dame, as is Sean McDowd. Ian Shaw and Nolan Spicer depart. Who do you think would be the happier of the 2 coaches at this point, nearly 35 minutes in?
Chad Riley, without a doubt. The way that goals are being produced in Indiana right now, the fact that as of now, you've kept them scoreless, you'd be happy.
Michael Nessie sets up the overlap. Looking toward Bogard, but claimed by Kelly.
Here's the problem within all of that, though. If you're Blake Kelly, I'm slowing this game down right now. I'm allowing the subs to come in, get acclimated to the environment. There's a lot more rotation and aggression coming from Indiana. What we saw in the opening 25 minutes, docile in nature, don't mind it, just keep the game in front of you, right? Almost dumbing the game down, which I'm totally fine with. There's nothing wrong with playing direct, being physical, and just taking what the game gives to you. It's called game management for a reason.
Palmer Alt might get there to this one. Gets there before Ochoa. Alt has Bogard in the middle. Comes through to Oduro, and he's put Indiana in front. Collins Oduro, the opening goal scorer against St. Louis on Wednesday night. And he puts the Hoosiers on top, 1-0 over Notre Dame in the 35th minute tonight in South Bend.
The idea that if you are going to chase the second ball and hit release, you have to move together, and instead you'll see separation here. It's unfortunate off the header, yes, but now you're seeing a back line that's scattered, and they're becoming reactionary in nature instead of having themselves set and allowing themselves to attack and step up into the space. 3 separate players isolated on one of the most dangerous men in America right now in Palmer Alt. And a great run on the back post here by Collins Oduro. Doesn't crash the party too early. Instead, actually pulls up out of his run to slow down and allow this movement to matriculate in front of him. Much easier for him to step right through and create the opener.
Snaps a scoreless streak for Notre Dame here at home of more than 343 minutes. The second goal of the season for Oduro, and his second this week. That is the second assist for Palmer Alt and his 6th goal contribution in as many games as an Indiana Hoosier. Alt gets a breather immediately as well, with Clay Murador on for Indiana. Create the goal, take a break. It was just as you were sensing it, too, that maybe those changes for Notre Dame and Indiana turning up the pressure made the Irish a little bit vulnerable in those moments. Couldn't quite get through it.
And there's a lot of ifs within it, too, right? If you release it a bit sooner, if you have more power on it to push the line higher, if you're not on the unfortunate end of Lady Luck and the header that goes backwards against you, the goal doesn't happen.
Wagner. Bogard. Wagner! Denied by Kelly. Lovely 1-2 from Wagner, and Bogard just didn't quite find the back of the net. Referee plays advantage. Bruletti sends it through for Murador on that left wing. Tipped up toward Bogard, flies him. Cleared by Green as far as Bendo. Oduro chips it up again toward Bogard. Doe, the grad transfer from Penn, at right back for Indiana. And back for the center back pairing of Minzy and Mayer. Wagner breaks the lines to Bogard. Set up nicely for Michael Nessie. But ultimately goes wide.
Twice now in consecutive trips we've seen the general Jack Wagner take everything over. Asked for more aggression out of the midfield. Got it. Draws the first line of pressure. There's the back-to-goal presence I talked about with Easton Bogard, and the continuing run that steps right through the heart of the back line for the Irish. Great move by Jack Wagner. And really everything that you and I went back and forth, 30, 35-minute mark. Wanted to see them be more versatile on the width, have more aggression coming up through the middle, more movement up top. Now, the question of who's the happier coach. You're Todd Yeagley sitting on the sideline going, guys, great adjustments. Let's keep going. See if you can pick off a second one before halftime.
How lovely was the weight on that touch from Bogard, too. He couldn't have placed that any better. bit of space for Schroeder. Notre Dame midfielders haven't had much time to pick passes. Haven't produced a shot for more than 31 minutes, the Irish. Oduro. Bendo. Nessie let it go, and Bogard couldn't connect. We have a special ACC Network Friday Night Lights football matchup for you. The Empire State rivalry game between Colgate and Syracuse. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern and is also available on the all-new ESPN app.
Mess around with the app at all?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Familiar with it?
They got the bundle right now. You can get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN.
It's a big, big fan favorite in our household. I nearly have the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse theme song down. When I get it, I'll pass it on to you. I know you've been sitting at the edge of your seat waiting for it.
I have been. I would like for you to sing it, though, and send it that way. I think I'll learn it better. I'm so used to listening to your voice, and I take everything you say so seriously. Yeah. I'll learn it better that way.
I warn you, you spend a little bit more time on social media with me, you would have heard it already. And go back to the challenge that just was. We mentioned Jack Wagner a couple of times. Not often he's been wrong-footed in this first half. That's the speed of KK before. Those inverting runs as he starts to drop down into the pocket underneath. Jumps the line a little bit high, caught out of position.
Wagner's been at the center of everything last 5-6 minutes. Another KK before free kick for Notre Dame. This one in the most dangerous position yet. Certainly the most advanced. Before chips it up, and that's a bit wasteful. Carries over the byline on the fly. Immediately put his hand up. 48th career start tonight for KK before, most on the Notre Dame roster. He goes down at the foot of Bruletti, sliding in. Referee says it was clean. Bogard finds Oduro in stride. Oduro out for an Indiana throw.
Go back to that challenge that just was for KK before stepping up through. Clean on the first, brilliant. That's the third one in this half. Cristiano Bruletti, when he's left his feet, timing has been spot on. Love the relationship that has just continued to prosper based upon timing and communication between Bruletti and Wagner in the midfield for Indiana. Breeds so much confidence for all the players around him and allows the game in front to continue to develop.
Obviously, Bruletti has a lot of experience at this level from his time at South Carolina and Michigan State, but nonetheless impressive they've created that relationship so quickly his first year in Indiana.
You got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff overall. You and I were pitch side, and I said it's one of the few universities in college soccer where you played Indiana, it sticks with you for your whole life. I don't care if you end up becoming a professional or not, but the idea of what it means to wear the badge so much so that if it's your first year, if your fourth year, you look along the sideline. Kevin Robeson, Christian Lamelli, Tanner Thompson. These are all guys that have lived, eaten, slept Hoosier football for their entire lives, passing it on to the next generation. It makes that transition for a first-year player, freshman or transfer, a lot simpler in nature. You understand what's expected of you on the field, but also the responsibility that you carry with you donning the badge off. There's a standard that was set here generations ago. And the idea that you can be a part of a new piece of history is what drives all of these players to greatness.
Stevie Dunphy Jack Flanagan out for a goal kick. We'll get the chance to talk to Todd Yeagley at halftime. As it stands, his Hoosiers up 1-0. 35th minute opener from Collins Oduro on a gorgeous, cool night in South Bend. 58 degrees. Couldn't have asked for a better evening for this game. Oduro in the final 20 seconds of the opening half. Wagner sprays it out wide. Barger sends it in. Bogard flicks it on just wide. Indiana inches away just before the horn.
I actually felt like they had time to be able to hold this up given the amount of personnel they had so high. Oduro had situated himself quite nicely atop the 18. Instead, you go direct. It's a difficult angle and header. Nearly the second.
Collins Oduro with a first half goal for the second game in a row this week. His 7-minute tally against St. Louis on Wednesday. Indiana had the only 2 shots on target in the first half. Notre Dame had 3 shots in total, but none over the final 36.5 minutes. Minzy under pressure from Wyatt Borso, starting striker tandem back on for Notre Dame. Borso, the senior, and the debuting freshman Luke Burton, 27 in green. Jack Wagner was looking for the run of Clay Murador, getting his first action for IU this year down that left-hand side. Wagner was really the maestro for Indiana over those final 10-12 minutes of the first half, though he did pick up the yellow card, his second of the season. Schroeder. Shaw quickly for before. In the first half, we talked about how Indiana wasn't finding a lot of joy through that middle part of the pitch. But for Notre Dame, it feels like the entire game so far, just very little space for those midfielders to pick a pass. Sebastian Green churns inside, goes to ground, waved away by the referee. Challenge from Bruletti, who's been on the better end of a few tight ones so far today.
And the reason being within all of that for Notre Dame is how IU clogs the midfield. So you've got your 2 dueling 8s, right? Wagner will release himself a little bit higher. Bruletti's been really good defensively of holding down underneath, but as the wingers converge, now you're having a 4-man conversation against Notre Dame's 2. It's simple math, right? And I'm no mathematical genius, but 4 minus 2, you've created a 2-man advantage there. It's the best math I've done on the fly on air in a lifetime.
That was pretty good because the pressure was on, you know. You messed that one up. Before, got a lot of it, but sent it wide. First shot for Notre Dame since 8.5 minutes into the first half.
But if you stay this course and almost mirror image what IU is throwing at you, you're going to have chances too. Notice over the left shoulder there, left side of your screen, there's actually a player releasing outside of KK Before's peripherals. Now, don't mind him taking a shot. said you had to come out and throw a punch, and from distance, keeping the goalkeeper honest, you don't know from the next effort where it's going to come from, but the space was still there. Much like we saw the build towards the tail end of the first half coming from the visitors, converge on the inside, outside backs get high, utilization of the width, something that Notre Dame certainly needs to address in the second half.
Minzy looking long for a Duro. That'll trickle out for an Irish goal kick. Kelly taking his time, even with Notre Dame down a 0-0 early in the second half. Borso. Schroeder just got something on it. Pokes it back for Ochoa. Line breaking pass by Ferguson. Before comes away. Before swings it in. Burton up for it. Mayer was higher. Schroeder clips it up for Before. Beautifully done. KK Before on his right foot has his shot denied by Aduro. Bogard. Aduro making a run down the right. 3 white shirts through the middle. Michael Nessie. Jack Wagoner. Notre Dame get it clear. Heavy touch by Luke Burton, an Indiana throw.
Pretty telling, by the way, where both managers' heads are at. Chad Riley has gone back to the group that started the match. Todd Yeagley leaving the team out there that finished the first half. Look at this Notre Dame team. We just saw Wyatt Borso a second ago. For me, he's going to be the one on the attacking side of things to really give this team a jump. 9 right side of your screen in green. Someone's unhappy with the ball. That man, Chad Riley, entrusting a lot. Freshman and a young man in Wyatt Borso, whose injury-riddled season has just gotten him back to full health. The reason I say Wyatt Borso is physically, he's imposing on teams. He's got speed, but also the understanding of such a wide variety of schemes and how to attack. I've seen this young man since he was 17 years of age, playing for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds under manager Bob Lilly. Now, at that time, he was an academy loanee. Let me put it to you this way. You play for Bob Lilly, you can play for anyone. And I say that because of the tremendous amount of respect I have for him, for this player who is very demanding on himself. It's something that Chad Riley is going to say, here's the deal. You got to go be the guy up top. Wyatt Borso will embrace that. You just got to instill some confidence in him, and then sky's going to be the limit for that young man.
Bogard for Indiana. Switches the play for Alex Barger. Tied up and goes to ground with Wyatt Lewis. Ultimately just an Indiana throw, but Barger has stayed down. He went down hard underneath Lewis.
Good defending in the first half by Wyatt Lewis. Most of it was against Odoro, and I think this one, the leg that just drives through. Yeah. Questioning team dinner, possibly. A little uncomfortable.
Did you ever have a questionable team dinner that caught up with you?
Wind's been knocked out of me more than once, we'll put it that way.
Saturday morning, the ACC Huddle crew will be in Atlanta at Bobby Dodd Stadium to get you ready for another full day of football with a 2-hour pregame show. They'll have game previews along with expert analysis and featured stories right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. They're in Atlanta for number 8 Clemson at Georgia Tech. That'll be noon Eastern on ESPN.
They had a scare yesterday, Clemson. Troy gave them a run for their money. I'm sure Dabo was happy at the conclusion. 27-16 the victors.
Might we have a card coming out here for Bruletti, getting up high into before on the ball in the air. Bruletti and the referee have been on good terms. He's gotten the decision he's wanted pretty much all along tonight, but not that one.
Pretty sure it's because of the arm moving away from the body, at least from our vantage point. That's what it felt like in the moment. Trying to establish the dominant position. Watch the arm right there. Yep. It's the right one. It's not flagrant. The elbow does flare a little bit. That creates contact against the Ghanaian. As much as you need Wyatt Borso, you need KK before. His right foot cutting in on the left, vice versa, pushing ideas down into the channel. One of the 4 that played in that 2023 national title game against the Clemson Tigers.
Before will sit, at least for the moment, and Nate Zimmerman comes on. Junior from Mendham, New Jersey, his 4th appearance, 2nd off the bench for the Irish.
Don't be surprised now, Nate, if you start to see Sebastian Green release a little bit higher on that left-hand flank for Notre Dame. Nate Zimmerman likes to play in the half spaces inverted a bit more. Likes the combination play with players around him and in front of him, and they release that left side. They have the ability to do it too, since you've got Wyatt Lewis sitting at the right back position, can act as a 3rd center back. They flatten itself out, but it'll give them more of a presence on that left-hand side and start to push Bendo back.
Not much on that shot from Luke Burton, just scuffed it. Should note as well that now both Indiana midfielders, Bruletti and Wagner, who have been so good controlling the center of the park, are on yellow cards. Wagner stumbles to ground and gets the whistle against Will Schroeder. Nessie on the turn. Minzy and Mayer exchange. Been a pretty comfortable evening for that center back pairing so far. Doe. Tried to leave it for Oduro. Green gets it clear. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about IU as a family affair in more ways than one. Chiefly the Yangleys, Jerry and Todd, closing in on a half-century of seasons as IU's head coaches between them. But how about the Mayer brothers? Now, season number 8 in a row with a Mayer brother at center back for Indiana. Jack and Joey, now Josh.
3 boys of my own at home, obviously a bit younger. I got to work my way into a family dinner, see what they're putting out on the table every night. Good stock. Certainly doesn't hurt coming up through the St. Louis pipeline. Scott Gallagher, now St. Louis City for the younger of the 3.
And they've all been successful right away at IU as well. Josh was Big Ten All-Freshman team last year. All 3 Mayer brothers have earned that accolade in a Hoosier shirt. Here's Nessie. Barger. Good ball right across the face of goal. Nobody at the back post for Indiana. Mentioned the Yeagley tradition. 30 years under Jerry, 6 national titles. They got their 7th in the interim with Mike Freitag, Jerry's assistant, at the helm. Todd came back to Bloomington after a year as the head coach of Wisconsin to take over in 2010, won the national title in 2012. He has the 2nd highest winning percentage of any head coach in Big Ten history. Can you guess who he's behind?
Told you to keep me away from the numbers. Should know better right now. Good touch there.
Here's Borso. KK before back on. Nate Zimmerman back to the bench. Schroeder pops it up. Before gets there, but couldn't turn it in front.
A better understanding here in the build-up for Notre Dame. There's that undercut that we've noted a few times for KK before. The departure of Zimmerman from that left-hand flank. Thought they might try and give KK a little bit longer of a break, injury or not. And once you depart here in the second half, you cannot re-enter the match.
Green turns the corner on Bogard. Chips it clear toward Borso. Wagoner for Indiana. Barger swings it too high for Bogard, and Green tracks it down for Notre Dame.
The one asterisk with all that, and I wanted to check first before we went ahead and said it, that the sub with KK, the reason he was able to come on so quickly, concussion sub. So to the point about not being able to come back on, Nate Zimmerman's services still free for Chad Ridley from the sideline.
Obviously want to make sure there are no impediments to any player getting fully evaluated and making sure they're fit to continue. Lewis.
Beautiful step. Play.
First time he's charged forward like this. Finds the run of Spicer. Schroeder. Sebastian Green. Borso on the turn. Wyatt Borso puts it on target, but right at Holden Brown.
Much better, though. And that all started from the movement coming off the back line by Wyatt Lewis. Again, their makeshift right back tonight. Captain primarily holds down one of those pivot eights within the midfield for Chad Riley. Keep going back to the idea here, Nate, that you have to be willing to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Right, so the predictability aspect that you can't just continue to go through the motions. You got to step out of your skin and start to push the ideas that are in front of you. Really well acknowledged there by Wyatt Lewis in the space available.
Bogard. Shot blocked by Ferguson. Spicer with his head up. Before in traffic, lost out to Bruletti. How do you balance that from Chad Riley's perspective? A game like this where his team has to grind out a result if they're going to get one, but you also want him to be brave.
Calculated risk. So if you're, let's go back to the moment that was for number 6, Wyatt Lewis from Notre Dame. If you're willing to step up, what sort of space am I leaving behind? What personnel does Indiana have so that we still retain proper defensive coverage? These are split-second decisions that you have to continuously scan the field. If I go, what happens? It's also the understanding for a junior that has seen many a situation. So when you go, you commit, and everybody else has to commit with you. It's the one thing that, as they've started to come a little bit higher, he's gotten his team to continue to retain belief. Physically, they're continuing to compete. Now you need the aggression of numbers going forward. Eventually, it just can't be the 1-2. You have to be willing to commit more guys into the attacking third. They've slowly gotten there, but you're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off.
Palmer Alt returns for Indiana. Murador makes way. And Justin Schraffler, the redshirt sophomore from Westlake, Ohio, introduced for the first time in midfield in place of Christian Bruletti, one of those two Hoosiers midfielders on yellow cards, alongside Jack Wagoner, the number 6, who has stayed in. Nessie did well to create a little space, but didn't get the pass right. Before on the run. KK Before lets it rip, and it's well high. He had the run of Wyatt Borso, didn't play it to him, and Borso is not happy about it.
Love the first touch here from KK Before. This is called the negative touch. Watch as he impedes the path of the oncoming runner. First one right in front, no chance that you're going to be able to win the angle if you're Justin Schraffler. And then vision is everything here. KK Before much better at interplay as his career has gone on, but he's got to drop that ball over the left-hand side. If he does, the percentage of opportunity much more in favor of the Irish.
Indiana a chance the other way. Nessie running on right at Kelly. Second save for Kelly tonight. He had a career-high 8 stops in the reverse fixture in Bloomington last August. Good touch by Before, knocked down. Careful eye on it from Dimitar Shadbarov, our referee. He lets it go. Before goes to ground. Referee perhaps plays advantage, perhaps waves it away. Either way, the offside flag is up against Luke Burton. Here's our Week 3 ACC Network football lineup. It begins Saturday at noon Eastern with Virginia hosting William and Mary. Then Bill Belichick and North Carolina host Richmond. At 7, Virginia Tech welcomes Old Dominion in Blacksburg. And we'll cap the night with Boston College and Stanford in Palo Alto at 10:30. All 4 games also available on the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere.
Tar Heels got back in the win column. First one under Belichick. I feel like that's going to be a long and arduous journey for them. Something they're going to take a little bit longer to build than people think. Young, inexperienced coaching staff, certainly when it comes to the pedigree that Belichick brings to the table. Put a 20 spot up yesterday. Still good.
Saw he got the game ball in the locker room from North Carolina's chancellor after the game. I think the chancellor would have ever expected, if you told him a year ago, you're going to be giving out a locker room game ball to Bill Belichick.
Well, I think the better question is where does that game ball end up on the mantle compared to the Super Bowl titles and what have you? Lombardi Trophy just feels a little different, doesn't it?
It is a first win in college, so maybe it's worth something, but probably not a Lombardi. Barger combines with Nessie. Barger goes to ground. The referee waves it away. Good 1-2. Shaw set it up for Before, but he gives it away rather cheaply. Here's Alt. Back for Nessie. Cutting in, Michael Nessie. Hopped up into the air. Ferguson first for Notre Dame, didn't get a lot on it. Barger. Couldn't get it past Lewis. And the Irish get it away. Wyatt Lewis again. He's been very good at right back for Notre Dame.
It's a great game so far. Still work to be done, but I mentioned the calculated risk. If you watch him defensively, the way that he positions his body, never gets caught flat-footed. That enables him to step up in when necessary.
A mathematician of sorts then.
Sure. Yeah.
All probabilities.
It's also the great understanding of pulling someone out of the midfield. You know, when you play in that 6-8 pivot, you're always scanning, right? What's in front of me, to the side, behind. It takes a certain part of your brain as a footballer to understand the full 360. You drop one on the back line, the game slows down. That's what it was like for me as well. I played an 8. Started to move into the center back role about 16 years of age. That's where I spent my collegiate years, and moving on into the professional ranks, the game just felt simpler because of knowing what goes on behind you and simplifying it to lock down the space in front.
Bogard, Bendo, clips it up to the back post and out for an Indiana corner. Indiana has averaged nearly 7 corners per game early on this year. This is the first tonight for the Hoosiers. In-swinger from Alt. Minzy wins another one across the way. Got to look alive walking near the corner flag on that path. Somebody got an unwelcome soccer ball in their kitchen. Barger with the left foot. Minzy denied by Kelly.
Just about positioning here from the goalkeeper, Blake Kelly. Watch him track. Love how he steps back here. If he stays up high in the pocket, less time to respond to the header coming back through. To be fair, Breckin Minzy probably wants that one back. The amount of space that he had to drive through it, a little bit slow the way that he attacked it. Still really well done by the goalkeeper, Blake Kelly. Real good understanding of why, for the 2024 class, top 100 player coming out of high school. Big shoes to fill. Brian Dowd and what he did for so many years for this program, deploying his trade with the Chicago Fire in MLS.
Long throw toward Ferguson. Before on the volley, sends it high. You know, maybe all's well that ends well for Notre Dame, but how does a center half in Breckin Minzy end up completely unmarked 6 yards from goal at the back post like that?
Well, there's a couple of different reasons. Number one, the pressure that Indiana, the way that they move guys, they move them up to the front and then allow sort of this pick to rotate back through. It is also an understanding that there are still a lot of very inexperienced young men here for Chad Riley that are going through some growing pains, and that's okay. You have to fail to succeed. And that's not saying this Irish team is going to fail. That's saying right now they're just finding themselves in some tough moments, but they're doing a great job of working themselves through it. This is still a 1-0 game with 20 minutes to go, even though Indiana have definitely been the better team.
Nico Bartlett on, 8 in green for the first time, in place of Luke Burton. Lewis looking for Bartlett, who does well to control. And a crowd of a pair of Hoosiers, including Mayer, wins the throw. Indiana will make a change with Colton Swan returning. Justin Schreffler goes off. Make it Nessie, I think, who's going to make way. Would have surprised me. That would have been an awfully attacking-minded change to put Swan on for Schreffler with 20 minutes to go, ahead by a goal to nil. So Swan for Nessie. Collins Oduro's goal in the 35th minute still stands for Indiana. 19.5 minutes from potentially a second 1-0 victory in as many games this week, both on Oduro goals. The all-new ACC PM, Monday through Thursday from 6 to 7 Eastern, and Fridays, a special 2-hour football-focused edition from 5 to 7 Eastern, hosted by Kelsey Riggs-Cuff, right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Bartlett goes to ground in the area. Referee says no.
He's going to check it. 100% he's going to check this one. The lower portion and the way that it comes in, just not sure if they're going to be able to get away with it. Well done here by Nico Bartlett, by the way, who has come in flying into this match. One could argue that there's a foul there to start off for Nico Bartlett. But coming over the right shoulder, when he squeaks through, I tell you, as a defender, no. As an attacker, he's probably going to argue his way till the cows come home that the referee should be pointing to the spot there. For me, as Alex Barker comes in, he establishes the dominant position in the replay. And if I'm the referee, I'm not pointing to the spot. Now, you lean into it a little bit. The striker takes the challenge, absolutely. But old school football, I say no. In the world that we live in, nothing ceases to amaze me. And I have never ridden the fence so much cautiously than I just did right there.
Fernando Pena is the fourth official. Bartlett, by the way, only on the pitch 2 minutes. He's made a real impact.
2 separate moments, right?
Got Notre Dame up the field by holding possession and winning a throw, and then ultimately created potentially a penalty that could equalize.
Where did we start this night, by the way? About the process and the commitment to the university, how nothing is bigger than any individual player or any team. It's about this product as a whole. Nico Bartlett, great example of that. Nolan Spicer, Wyatt Borso, Matt Rue. He's had to bide his time to get these opportunities, understanding that health comes with it as well. But this is a young man who has stayed true to the path that Chad Riley has put in front of him. One of the top 100 players that came in 2 seasons ago. Just 3 appearances on the year after a freshman season that saw none. Now 2 moments into Indiana territory that have caused real concern here for the Hoosiers. And the referee, no pen.
Safe to say if you had been in his position, you would have come out the same way.
To me, it's not a penalty. I said in my world it's not because of that step right there, because he gets in front of him. The contact, again, a lot of attackers are going to feel like, hey, I was wrongfully done. And if he comes square, even just a little bit negative, the referee points to the spot. But I like the decision overall. To me, that is a proper decision by a referee. It's also pretty consistent with what we've seen over the course of the evening. He's let these guys play a little bit. And with just outside 15 minutes to go, any player, all you want is consistent from the head ref.
And you feel for the referee because it's right on the margin there. Had Barger swung that hip in a split second later, probably a penalty. Had he gotten the hip in a little bit earlier, probably much more clear that it's not. Shout for handball. Bogard's arm was down by his side. Foul given against Indiana, earned by Wyatt Lewis. And Bogard goes to ground before, got into him a little bit. The referee seems content, having had a word, perhaps thought Bogard made a meal of it.
Well, he also slows the game down on the backside of things to remove some of the emotion that's been put into it. Nothing there, not even a Tony.
Goal kick for Indiana. How much does the mindset have to shift for Notre Dame into the final 17 and a half?
I actually like the way the game is heading for them. I've seen a higher line on that left-hand side. Sebastian Green asked for that. Nolan Spicer has reciprocated, started to clog the middle, make the midfield of Indiana work a little bit further. As you quickly play in and out, it's like a heartbeat converges in, opens up space on the flanks, and they've done well to play through. Still like to see more players up high when they get 30 yards and in, but better decision-making, better ball movement. And it feels like the momentum has swung the way of the home squad.
Bartlett. Spicer slips as he was going for the connection. Bartlett tumbled down behind him as well. Notre Dame retain it. And win a corner. Big crowd at Alumni Stadium tonight under the lights in South Bend. They have not had much to cheer about. Flicked on, back post. Lewis couldn't turn it on before tries, and it's cleared away by Indiana. Flipped over the top, Schroeder, header toward the back post, taken by Brown. Perhaps needed that one just a little more across the face of goal. The oncoming run of Ferguson. Over the top, Alt in behind, Palmer, Alt, denied by Kelly again. Still alive for Oduro. Collins Oduro, high and wide. Blake Kelly steps up to stone Palmer. Alt in on goal all alone.
Mitch Ferguson' argument behind the scenes is that he was tripped. Actually thought his foot just got caught up underneath him as the right-sided center back stepped up high. Near portion of your screen. Didn't think there was enough in the coming two with Easton Bogard, and Blake Kelly has really come into his own within this match. Give him credit. That trailing leg, almost that butterfly look that goalkeepers start to move themselves into. Quickly steps, closes the space down, makes himself much bigger, and eliminates the threat against Palmer Alt.
A couple of good saves from Blake Kelly tonight. He has 4 in total after 8 against the Hoosiers last year in that 2-2 draw.
Well, interestingly enough, what you saw, the way that he makes himself that big, there's a bunch of different terminology that's utilized for it. And it's not groundbreaking, but that move itself actually became quite prevalent into the arsenal from goalkeepers in the 2018 World Cup. So much so there was a large case study done after the tournament to see statistically how many times it became impactful for teams within the cup matches. As you can tell, my Thursday night reading has gone deep into the cellar.
And right off the bestseller list.
You're shocked I have a life at all?
Bogard for Indiana. Wagner. How do you contrast that against what goalkeepers would have been doing more often pre-2018?
It's just a better understanding of what they can do, right? So it's, all right, I want to step out in close space. Great, that's number one. But how do I give myself the best advantage in the moment? And there's multiple factors to it, right? What size is the goalkeeper bringing to the table? Blake Kelly just over 6'2". How quickly can he actually hit that space in front of him on the save that just was? And then number 3, if your extremities start to branch out, you've got the trailing leg. Well, now you're much more multifaceted in nature. So he stops, quickly recognizes that, okay, I've got to make a decision here. If I continue to drop, now I'm opening up the goal, but also it prohibits me from making a save because I'm retracting my body. If I stand and give myself the chance, also understanding where the ball is on the attacker's foot, to come out and close it down, Now I'm on the aggressive side of things. I've taken the advantage into my own hands, and it's really well done by the goalkeeper.
Indiana substitution. Seth Stewart is on in place of Easton Bogart. Fourth appearance for Stewart in the Hoosiers' half-dozen matches so far this year. 21st appearance, make it the 24th of his Indiana career, including 6 as a true freshman on the 2022 College Cup squad. Spicer looking for the run of Bartlett. He's been active. Before, back for Spicer on his left. Shot took a deflection. On the turn to the back post and just wide off the left foot of Sebastian Green. As you said, he's been getting more and more active in the attack.
Almost fully committed to this build 3 scenario for the Fighting Irish, and so within that, much better presence on the width of the field. A little aggressive there from Wyatt Lewis if the turnover did happen, but instead, notice the amount of personnel available for the Fighting Irish inside the top of the 18. For the first, 55, 60 minutes of this match, you'd be lucky to see 2. Now you're regularly picking your head up as they start to progress forward and talking about 4 to 5 personnel. I like the positioning of KK before here. He's constricting the back line a little bit, allowing that ball. If they start to hit that channel more frequently, release Sebastian Green. Again, you got to take some chances with 12 minutes to go. I like their ability to attack from the outside and start to produce better quality in front of goal.
Borso on the turn, knocked away from him from behind by Oduro, and Borso clatters into Brecken Minzy on the clearance. Stewart got something on it. Cleared for Mayer. Barger. To that point, in that conversation, you wouldn't necessarily bet against another goal in this game one way or the other, because Notre Dame taking those chances has opened up a little bit more space for Indiana. Palmer Holt got through on goal minutes ago. Nicely done from Borso to set up Bartlett. Indiana quick to recover. Before. Turns the corner. All the way to the flag, lost out. Well defended by Ben Doe. Awkward header for Minzy.
And the organization within the midfield, Seth Stewart, Wagner, and just underneath with Schreffler, there's way too much space in between all 3 of them right now. That aggression where they started to push up high, we saw a lot more combination play. Now you're seeing direct balls over the top. First off, they're not winning them. As they're releasing, really good job by the Irish of just staying composed and stepping on the ball, but this is what ends up happening is they react when they come through and then are quickly just playing through the lines.
Good little turn by Spicer. He goes to ground and the referee's giving it.
To counteract that, this is very similar to the foul we saw in the first half by Jack Wagner. You sit a little bit deeper. If the first ball you can't get to, keep the game in front of you, stay side by side with Schreffler, allow Seth Stewart to recover, and instead, now you're backtracking, right? It becomes this waterfall effect where the space is available. You allow the Irish to continue to release up high, and unfortunately here for Indiana, it's right through the engine room.
Pair of free kick goals for Notre Dame this year. Holden Brown, the sixth-year senior, setting his wall. It's the center back pairing over the ball for Notre Dame. Ochoa and Ferguson. It's Mitch Ferguson, and it's just wide. Brown was stretched. Mitch Ferguson nearly delivered an 82nd minute stunner for Notre Dame.
Thought he might get clever here and try and play down onto the right side. With the craziness that has been Nico Bartlett, not far off. Love the English he gets on the ball. Just overcuts it a ton. Felt like it had enough pace. Goalkeeper was on the sniff though.
Green gets there before Oduro. Notre Dame bench wanted a foul. The referee plays advantage. Scholl. Bartlett taken down by Mayer. And a foul and a yellow card brandished to Indiana's number 4. The third yellow card against the Hoosiers tonight.
Haven't had to call his name much tonight, Josh Mayer. Either his counterpart, Brecken Minzy. 100% a foul. A little surprised given the amount of Indiana bodies around the ball and the fact that his infractions haven't been frequent that the referee pulls the yellow.
'83rd minute. Scholl swings it in. Brown is out and claims it in traffic bravely too.
Feels routine. Nothing of the case for Holden Brown. You used the word bravery before. Watch the amount of bodies that are front of this goalkeeper atop his 6. Coming out. A little surprised he doesn't lead with his knee just to give himself a little bit more protection. All the more so impressive how calmly he's able to collect.
Indiana might want to just play for a minute or two, catch their breath. Stewart goes down. Referee says no. Palmer Alt, another chance at goal, this time denied by Ferguson. Schreffler. Notre Dame out the other way. Borso with little support. Final 6 minutes for the Irish. Bartlett has been nothing but energy for Notre Dame in this second half. Couldn't connect with Borso. Kelly comes out, slightly awkward for him. Handled it well. Spicer. Shielding off Barger. Before clips it over the top for Green. Green tries to keep it into the byline and can't make the play. Ben Doe again did well in a tight space. Ochoa, foul. Colton Swan draws the whistle, or perhaps more accurately, the wave of the assistant's flag across the way. Wyatt Lewis put Palmer on skates. But the minutes are slipping away all too fast for Notre Dame. Indiana will take that for the final 4 minutes. Clipped up towards Swan. Ferguson wins it. Green goes long toward Borso, asking a lot of him. A lot of Notre Dame slips in this second half. Indiana 3 minutes from a 5th straight win and a 5-0-1 start, which would be the Hoosiers' best since 1997 when they won each of their first 6 matches. That 1997 team went on to the College Cup, lost in the semifinals to UCLA. Wyatt Lewis finds only the head of Mayer. Alt on the sideline, wins a throw. How pleased do you think Todd Yeagley would be, or not be, with how the Hoosiers have controlled the second half of this game with a 1-0 lead?
He's not going to be happy about the control, but if they're able to see it out, he'll be happy in the final 5-10 minutes about game management, not giving up a goal, right? You want to keep the game in front of you, make sure that you slow it down, tick off the minutes. Listen, we can talk tactics, right? How do you change within a match? And there's something to be said when you talk about Indiana and their just willingness to compete and find a way to get results when maybe things aren't going your way. They're working through that right now.
Would also be Indiana's 3rd straight clean sheet and stretch their scoreless streak to 358 minutes. Going back to the 2nd minute 4 games ago against Green Bay, the last time they conceded. Brown claims it, 70 seconds from a victory in South Bend. It's been another tight one. Would be the 10th in a row, decided by no more than 1 goal either way between these two teams, and the 12th in the last 13 years. '35th minute goal from Collins Oduro, the only goal scorer for Indiana this week. But looks like it'll be enough to get a ranked win at home over Oregon State and a road win over in-state rival Notre Dame. Oduro sprinting for the corner. Puts it out for a throw, but Notre Dame get the decision. Bartlett, 15 seconds. Too far in front of Borso. Would take a miracle for the Irish now. Minzy, Wagner, and that will do it. Collins, Oduro, and Indiana, their best start since 1997. A 1-0 victory.